In this video, we're talking about Palantir Technologies, a company that's making waves in the tech sector due to its innovative approach to AI software. We're here to break down the latest developments and what they mean for Palantir's future and your investments. Let's get started. Palantir Technologies recently released its Q3 earnings report, causing a positive jump in the stock. So Thomas, if you would, start us off with the key highlights of this report. Let us know, how did the market react to Palantir's financial performance?
Yeah, I thought it was a solid report. We were already expecting to see strength in government spending just because of its position in the market and results from Checkpoint that came out the week before. So that was really no surprise. The big surprise was the strength in the commercial end of the business, specifically in the US. That is underpinning the growth. I think US growth was above 30%, which is pretty huge. That commercial business is a huge vote of confidence for the platform, its data tracking systems and threat prevention tools. That all led to the top and bottom line strength. Ultimately, this is about wider margins and an increase to guidance that has the market reassessing where the stock is going.
Okay, so the third quarter here was the first full period that its artificial intelligence platform was available to its customers. And this is a key factor to keep our eyes on, isn't it, guys? We're talking about potentially massive gains here, aren't we?
Yeah. So we're talking about, when you're mentioning that, you're talking about AIP, which is their generative AI platform that they just launched. I think it was in 2022. Now, it's interesting to me because it's not just about the fact that Palantir is launching this platform or has launched this platform. It's how they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
One way they're doing it is they're introducing these AIP boot camps, and they're allowing prospective customers, keep in mind the word prospective, that means these aren't people that are actually customers right now, to actually test out the software, kind of get into it, play around with it, and identify their own use cases that are applicable to their businesses. And I think it's a clever model because once a company can kind of get into the software platform like that, start to customize it for their business, they're going to be really locked in. And keep in mind that this is just one platform that Palantir has that they're being very forward about in terms of the generative AI capabilities. Palantir's been using AI in all of their platforms like Gotham and Foundry since the company began.
Right. That's what it is. It's an AI company,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think AI is proving to aid internal efficiency and operational quality for the business and for the clients. So this is really a dual story, a dual tailwind that should boost business and widen margin at the same time. So I think that it may take a little bit of time for the market to fully understand what's going on.
All right, so something else I'm curious about here that I want to spend a little bit of time on is, so a substantial portion of Palantir's revenue comes from government contracts. And we did see in the third quarter that Palantir's government revenue totaled $308 million, which is up 12% year over year. But it was below analyst consensus prediction of $321 million. So is this shortfall concerning to investors at all?
You see me smirking a little bit lately. So the thing is, I've been following Palantir fairly closely since it went public by a direct listing. Excuse me. So Palantir is one of those stocks I look at as a yeah, but stock, because that's really what the analysts have been saying about Palantir ever since it went public. I mean, it went public and it had a heavy reliance on government contracts. Analysts were like, yeah, but it doesn't have commercial contracts. So now it's building up its commercial, the commercial side of its business. And now you have analysts saying, well, yeah, but now the government side isn't growing as fast. Well, growth is still growth. I mean, 12% growth is still fairly strong. And I don't see that as being an issue for the stock at all.
Right. I agree with Chris. That's not a problem for me. Government spending is kind of iffy on a quarter-to-quarter basis, depending on who's in the office and who signs the checks and whatever. But government spending is expected to accelerate globally over the next year or two, especially in technology and AI, because these people have got to stay ahead of the IT curve. There's no way they can fall behind, or else the bad actors are just going to take over the world, and that's not going to happen.
Okay, so I think it might be helpful if we quickly touch on the broader trends in the tech sector related to generative AI. So with that, how does Palantir position itself compared to other companies that are benefiting from similar increases?
Well, I mean, like Chris was saying, they've got a really great approach to getting business into their house. So you come and play with my toys, now you got to buy it, right? The analyst chatter is very promising. They're seeing a chance for Palantir to gain market share with automated workflows and security and threat prevention, data tracking, all those things in a single platform. I think that we're going to see Palantir's commercial business continue to expand and potentially accelerate. Speaking about specific analysts, Dan Ives of Wedbush, who was just a really big tech analyst, he's always got something to say. He called Palantir the Lionel Messi of AI, which means that Palantir is not only the best player, but it's the team captain. If you want to know what's going on, follow them to the win.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to what I was saying with, like I said, AIP, the platform, not only how they're rolling it out, but how they're rolling it out is also key, because that's how Palantir is going to get ahead of companies like Microsoft and Alphabet on the commercial side of the business. They already have a leg up on the government end of it, but that allowing the customers to access the software, play with it, make it their own is a really interesting way, and a way that they can get ahead of Microsoft and Alphabet in that regard in the generative AI space.
Okay, so considering the excitement across the tech sector for generative AI, is Palantir a buy?
So Thomas brought up Dan Ives, and Dan Ives has a price target on Palantir of $25. And from what I've been seeing, I was just checking this morning, I don't see any price targets that are higher than that. So if you look at Palantir, it's trading around $18, $19 this morning. That would put it in a buy range. You could certainly look for a pullback. The consensus of analysts on MarketBeat would suggest that Palantir stock is overbought right now. But if I'm looking at the chart, and Thomas, you can agree, or maybe you have a different opinion, but as I look at the chart, if you're waiting for Palantir to get back down into the single digits again, I think that's not a good bet. So you're going to have to decide where you want to plant your flag. But to me, I see the stock as going higher, and the $25 price target that Dan Ives, projected, again, keep in mind, that's an analyst target for 12 to 18 months. Where it's going to be in 5 to 10 years is yet to be determined.
Yeah, right. I think the chart looks pretty strong, and I don't think there's going to be a big dip. The post-release action was very robust. I think the stock gained like 20%, didn't it? But now we're trading right up at the recent highs, right below resistance. So technically speaking, I'd be a buyer on a pullback. I'd be a dip buyer. I'd also be a buyer on an advance. If the stock crosses that key resistance line, you're going to see more traders pile in. The stock will gain momentum. So yeah, it's buyable, but I would wait for one of those two events.
All right, well, we took a look at Palantir's journey through earnings, government contracts, and the potential game changer, generative AI. Thank you, Chris and Thomas. Big thank you to you for your valuable insights today. If you found the exploration of this stock intriguing, please don't forget to leave us some love in the comments below. And of course, meet us right back here at MarketBeat for more market analysis. Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon.